What's going on, everybody? Thank you so much for coming back to another video. In today's video, we're going to be talking about The Strangers. So The Strangers stars Scott Speedman and Liv Tyler as Kristen and James, and they are a couple that are just coming back from a wedding, a friend's wedding. You find out not too long into the film that James proposed to Kristen right outside of the friend's wedding right before they went home, and it did not go as planned. Yeah, they were going to be staying at a family like home that they have kind of in the woods in the middle of nowhere, not connected to anybody, not near any neighbors, and they were just going to be staying there for that night because of the fact that the wedding was nearby. James had the whole house set up for her to kind of be all romantic when she got back, expecting that she would say yes to the proposal. So right out of the gate, you have this very dark and somber tone, and there's a lot of tension between this couple. You know, James is really heartbroken, and you have Kristen who feels really bad about having turned him down, but obviously she had her reasons for not wanting to marry him. And not too long after being there at James's family's home that's in the middle of nowhere, in the middle of the woods, like most of these movies do, they are visited by three strangers in masks that are there to torment them for the whole night just because they were home.
Why are you doing this to us? Because you were home.
So that's the basic premise of this film, and this film is actually based on some series of real-life events that happened. And yeah, you know, right out of the gate, what I'll go ahead and say is that this is not a phenomenal movie. It's not a really great movie. I've gone back and rewatched it a few times as the years have gone on, and it's definitely not the best movie that I've ever seen, not the best horror film, and it doesn't really have great ratings. However, I really enjoy this film, and I think for me it was one of the scariest movies I had seen for quite some time when I was growing up. So this movie came out in 2008. I was about 15 to 16 years old when I first saw it, and I remember just being so creeped out by this movie. I'm not one that easily gets scared of watching horror films of any kind. The idea of things like a ghost house or just demons in general or possession and all those other things that are kind of basic tropes of horror storytelling don't really freak me out as much as they did when I was a kid. But the one concept in horror that still continually freaks me out, whether the film is good or not, is home intrusion stories. That just idea of people wanting to torment you, come to your place of peace and comfort, and where you can just feel the most comfortable, and ruining that is the scariest thing in my opinion. Whenever I watch movies like this, it just freaks me the hell out just thinking that anybody could really be like this. You just have to be in the wrong house at the wrong place with the wrong person in that area that would wear a mask, maybe not wear a mask. And that concept is just such a terrifying concept to even really think about, because it's one thing to watch a movie about a demon or a creature or a ghost or anything like that and kind of start to feel the tropes that are going to happen in that film. And this film definitely has a lot of tropey elements, but yeah, right out of the gate, the concept really freaks me out. So a lot of the visuals, the look, the feel of this film that really kind of, you know, revolves around these three people tormenting this couple in this house is just really eerie. It's just really unsettling, and just the way that the movie is lit, the look to it, the feel, the really subtle music choices that are used in this, there's just so much about it that's just so genuinely creepy. So what I'll say right out of the gate for me is that though this movie is not very highly praised and it's not the greatest movie, there's something about this movie that freaks me out, man. Every time I watch it, there's something super creepy about it, and they have a lot of really subtle scares. Just a really big jump scary type moments. Some of those jump scares are actually genuine, like really good scares, rather than being your cheap jump scare where somebody comes around the corner, it's just like blah. No, there's some genuinely good scares in this movie. And what I really love about this movie is there are really subtle horror moments, things that are to be in the background that you can easily not catch on your first viewing, but when you go back and rewatch it, you see these little moments where you'll see one of the intruders in the background for just a glimpse, just a second in one of the frames, and you can easily not catch it. And what I really love about this movie is that they really capture the creepy and eeriness of these three intruders. You know, they don't really spend a lot of time fleshing them out, but I don't really feel like it's a movie that needs to. You know, it's just about these three characters that are a threat. Where are they? Where are they hiding? How are they getting into the house? You know, how are they getting in and out of the house without them knowing and hearing? And that's kind of what makes this movie really creepy for me, and I really enjoy just overall the aesthetic, the feel, the look to this film. However, what I will say, one of my biggest negatives about the look of this film is just how dark it is. It's such a dark and saturated film. You can literally be watching this movie on the nicest TV with all the lights off, literally no way for any light from the outside to get in, and you will still be watching an incredibly dark film. I wish they would have made this film just a little bit less dark. I know what they were going for. I can appreciate it. It does add some of the creepy elements when certain things are really lit up, but for the most part, this film is just way too dark. So when I go back and rewatch it, I just hate that it's so dark. But it is a film that on an overall level, visually, I do enjoy, and I think it definitely leans closer to that creepy factor. As far as the main two characters in this film, I enjoy them. I think that they're, in a lot of ways, your typical horror characters. You know, they're not necessarily well fleshed out characters that you'll be 100% rooting for, but you will be invested in what's going on, because it's a very in the moment kind of film for me. Their performances are very believable, and you definitely believe that these are real people. However, as characters, they make really dumb and silly decisions that you feel like, why would you do that? Why are you doing this? Why are you screaming? hello, do that, hello, do this. It's one of those movies that you'll definitely find yourself at least mentally talking to the screen. But on an overall level, I find this movie to be a solid horror film. Nothing crazy, nothing out of this world. But if you're somebody who's creeped out by home intrusion films like I am, and there's just something about that whole concept that freaks you out, I think there's something very creepy to be had here when you watch this movie. I think it's definitely something that, yeah, it could just make you feel uncomfortable, and I think that's what horror is supposed to do. Like I said, not an incredible film in a lot of ways. Some of the writing is kind of and some of the character moments are kind of but on an overall level, I really enjoy the aesthetic of how creepy this film feels. I feel like it's one that could be a little bit forgettable. It's not the scariest movie, but it definitely has a really good creep factor, and I've always enjoyed this one. This is something I think I disagree with a lot of people and the negative reaction they have to her, or some of the blah reaction. I have not seen the sequel to this movie, so if you guys have, let me know down below if it's worth checking out. It looked a lot different. It looked like it had more of a colorful look to it, which I'm definitely interested in checking out. But as far as this movie goes, nothing crazy. I do recommend it for fans of horror, and I just wanted to add this in here for my Halloween horror collection of reviews that I'm doing this October. Yeah, this is a really solid horror film that I've always really enjoyed, especially one from the last 10 to 15 years that I feel definitely has a creepy, eerie vibe to it that sometimes people just do not give credit to. But like I said, it's not an incredible movie in a lot of ways when it comes to the writing. But yeah, guys, that's gonna be my review for The Strangers. Let me know your thoughts down below. Do you like this movie? Do you not like this movie? Have you even seen this movie? And again, if you've seen the sequel, let me know down below if it's worth checking out. I definitely think I may check it out at some point. Maybe I'll do it this month, who knows. Leave those comments down below, guys. Hit that like button, subscribe for more videos, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.